Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our chief guest, Mr. Justice Agha Faisal, justices, advocates, lawyers, ladies and gentlemen, and above all, students. Mr. Agha Faisal, I would like to thank you for being amongst us today. After hearing all those fancy words from our dean on education and what Mr. Justice Agha said, I thought to give up my written speech and become a little more philosophical. And for the students, I would say that what I would like to say, you must go and research it and study it, and you'll understand a lot of things. I'll just be brief on different things. Whenever cognitive evolution of the mind was made in mankind, the first thing man thought from a wanderer, from a herd, from a hunter, they should settle in one place. And other than hunting, they could also grow food. So they started on land, tilling lands. And once they came on land and they owned land, disputes came. And those disputes had to be resolved. And that was the rudimentary form of law, dispensation of law. In early days, even in America, till they came up with their constitution, they had a jural system where anybody, a layman, a man with no education, could be judge of a crime, judge of a human being. So, justice and law have been complementary and have grown hand in hand as we see it today. The justice statue, the Lady Justice statue I see behind me, I've seen a lot of times. I know the scale means impartiality, the sword means power, but what does the blindfold mean? I've seen many times these statues, you will find them on the net, that they are without a blindfold. I have never really understood the reason of not holding a blindfold. Maybe justice is blind, or it's supposed to be blind. That I've never really understood. Now, coming back, as the Justice Agha said, that education, and especially in a country like ours, we have become despair. We have become unaware of our surroundings. We are frustrated. Every institution is on its decline. And the country as a whole is at a verge of an economic collapse. It's not far away as I see this happening. The basic reason is that we have got away from education. To my mind, education till maybe 20 years ago was the language. You need to have a language which is not functional, not not for the society, not for the culture, but a language that has the strength to deliver. It has to have an organized language. When the Pakistan Muslim League in 1944 decided in its infinite wisdom to make Urdu as the operational language of this country, and then the 71 Constitution decided that in 10 years we should convert it into Urdu. It hasn't happened. 81, 40 years it hasn't happened. What is the rationale behind it? Because Urdu is not an operational language. It was a language which had grown for the troops, for the different people with different language backgrounds, so they came to a common language. Then a time came when this language was also only in northern India. This was not part of southern India. And when the time came, the script had to be decided. And then there was a conflict between the Hindus and the Muslims, and we divided into the Sanskriti and the Devangi. Today, what is after intermediate? What is there after high school in Urdu? Can we do it? I think one of our basic reasons is that our language has not developed. We have not developed Urdu from a functional language to an operational language. And with the modern names which our dean said, critical thinking, analytical thinking, comes from where? It comes from research, it comes from understanding, and it's all in English. If you go on the net, this is not a controversial statement I'm making. The net is not sure from where Quaid-e-Azam did his matriculate. Was it in Karachi? Was it in Bombay? In Bombay also it mentions 2 schools. I once called the VC of this school in Karachi, Madrasatul Islam, Sindh Madrasatul Islam, and I asked him, do you have a metric certificate of the Quaid-e-Azam? He says, we only have it till the 9th class. We don't know what happened after that. These are facts of history. Why do we deny ourselves and call ourselves to look at history for our own selves? But then, look at the second part, which is amazing. He went to the bar to appear in the bar. The bar did not have any limitation on the level of education you needed at that time. And when he went to England, you had to know the Latin language to go through the bar. He fought his case in the Students' Council that you should not need to know Latin to be admitted to the bar. He fought this case in English, and he was given an exemption, and he went to the bar without Latin. And he was the first barrister from England who became a barrister without knowing the language of Latin. He was an amazing guy. He had the intellectual properties. He had the critical thinking. He knew the analysis. He knew how to analyze the human body, the human mind, and that is why he was so successful in his life. So we have to go and rethink All your research, all your critical thinking, once you go on the net, all you have is English. So once you don't do it, if you don't understand the language properly, and this is why I'm saying this, because in my university, not only law, in all faculties, I'm facing this problem. The language of the students poor, the medium of instruction is English, and they cannot analyze and do critical thinking what is needed right now. Again, I'll just take a few minutes more. Going back in history, why did the religions that came from Islam failed? And why do we say कि वो तो हर चीज़ बदल गई है, तौरा भी बदल गई, the Bible has also changed? Because the language they came in failed. Those languages are there no more. We don't understand those languages. The people who follow this don't understand their old transcripts, they don't understand their own Bibles, they don't understand their own Gospels, they don't understand anything because it was not the language. Even English language is a developed language. From the Saxon time to the British time, it developed about 1,000 years ago to what it is today. The most interesting part is, why did Quran come in Arabic? Was it the favorite language of God? Did God like Arabic language? All the prophets who have come into this world were the chosen ones. Probably in their own books it is written that they were the chosen ones. But in our religion, it says our prophet was not the chosen one. He was God's, he was made by God thousands of years ago, waiting to be brought on earth at a particular time. That is what our faith says. But why did he choose Arabic? Why did Gabriel come and teach him in Arabic? Because Arabic is a developed language. It is an operational language. And that is why the Quran has not changed, because God had ordained it to. That is why he brought it in a language that was developed. He didn't bring it in some other language. There are a lot of historical facts, a lot of critical thinking, a lot of analysis. I could go on forever, but I think food is waiting for us and we are all hungry. But on a very food for thought and a lighter note, I would like to make one last comment before I leave. And this everybody must think. What will be the effect of artificial intelligence on mankind, which we are talking today? Will the lawyers and judges be dispensed with once the AI system comes? They will be the first to go. Thank you.